Hi, I'm Drew Duffin and welcome to my second podcast. Today's episode will be about representation of LGBT in news outlets and in the sporting world and how issues are dealt with by major news sites and how each one differs. So how do news outlets speak about these big issues? 2022 was a big year as far as sport was concerned as multiple people came out. Blackpool striker Jake Daniels made headlines when he came out at just 17 years of age in May. This was followed with two Scottish referees, Craig Napier and Lloyd Wilson, coming out and hoping that this would change the climate of football. Sky Sports covered both stories, with the Jake Daniels story getting headline coverage across all their platforms, including a YouTube clip with Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher speaking about the subject. Many people feel that this could be a catalyst and result in more people coming out. The way the media reacted after these people came out was encouraging, as it gave people a safe and comfortable environment. According to Maxwell McCombs and Sebastian Valenzuela in a book published in 2021 called Setting the Agenda, agenda setting is the role of the news media in identifying key issues or topics and subsequently influencing the salience of those issues or topics on the public agenda. From the 31st of August 2021 and the 31st of August 2022, Sky Sports made 15 tweets about LGBT issues. In this same period, BT Sport made 12 tweets about LGBT issues, with only one of these during Pride Month in June. This is a big contrast when you look at a Eurosport and the Daily Mirror, who only have 9 tweets about LGBT issues, with only one of these being in Pride Month. The big question is, why is there a difference between these news outlets? Perhaps it's because Sky and BT are broadcasters and feel they must appeal to a wider audience by pushing out content that can be perceived to be friendly for everybody. Maybe it's just because Eurosport and the Daily Mail didn't tweet about these subjects. However, there is a wider problem within the media and the lack of attention that's given to all subjects regarding discrimination and racism and the LGBT community. According to Edward Kean and John Vicent, sexual orientation isn't discussed by the media, leading to it becoming a taboo subject and something that people don't talk about and discuss enough. This can be seen by Eurosport and the Daily Mirror tweeting very little about the LGBT community. Kean and Vincent also argue in a book called Examining Gays and Lesbians in Sport via Traditional and New Media, published in 2014, that when the media does report on gay athletes, that usually represents a favourable narrative, and that it is still perceived to be normal if you are heterosexual. This could mean that companies like Sky and BT are only trying to help their own reputation instead of furthering the cause of LGBT athletes by drawing attention to the subject. According to Rachel Bullingham and Verity Postlethwaite in a book called Lesbian Athletes in the Sports Media, Ambivalence, Scrutiny and Invisibility, published in 2019, the 1980s was a divisory line in terms of sport and media and gender and sexual orientation when Billie Jean King lost all her sponsorships after coming out as a lesbian. Bullingham and Postlethwaite also argue that since the 1980s, a lot has changed about media representation and public opinion and the acceptance of gay athletes. Overall, these issues have been spoken about much more and in a very positive light about athletes coming out. A lot has changed over the past 40-50 years and has changed for the better. There is, however, a long way to go until more athletes feel comfortable about coming out. There is also still a long way to go until we have an equal representation in the media, not just with LGBT athletes and communities, but with all discriminatory issues such as equality and racism. Thank you.